Namaste. How's it going? One important principle in Hatha Yoga when it comes to managing our energy is the reversal of its downward flow. Naturally, our energies decrease and diminish through time because of the constant pull of the gravity, that causes the aging process, it causes the body energy to decrease, muscles, joints, and all the internal organs suffer because of that gravitational pull. Okay. Hatha yoga, well, of course, we can't prevent the process of aging, but Hatha yoga aims to, number one, clear and cleanse the body of imperfections and impurities, and that shall lead to the healthy flow of energy inside to nourish us for our health and wellness, as well as to actually reverse the downward flow of the energy. Okay, so particular about this energy is the Apana Vayu. The Apana Vayu is the energy we ourselves produce in the body. Its function is to regulate the HEPs, the reproductive system, as well as the processes of elimination. Therefore, in Hatha Yoga, a lot of the techniques, especially in the beginning stages, tackle the grounding and the stabilizing of our foundation. Because when the foundation, the physical foundation, is strong, meaning the HEPs and the lower extremities, we can utilize the strength we develop in reversing the downward flow of the energy. At first, it's physical, really, because the HEPs being the dwelling of the Apana Vayu, if the HEPs are not strong enough to withstand this inevitable diminishing of the energy because of the gravitational pull, that causes the body to actually age and eventually die. But Hatha Yoga is not about physical immortality, because after we've developed the strength and the dynamism, as well as the resiliency of our hips and our lower extremities, we're going to utilize that inner body strength in lifting the energy up through breathing exercises. Because the breathing exercises shall lead to the activation of what we call the bandhas. Of course, the bandhas shall start to manifest and develop as we practice the techniques or the postures. But the bulk of the development of our energetic anatomy, the bandhas included, is when we start to regulate the flow of the breath. Good. Therefore, the breathing exercises in Hatha Yoga aim to lift the apana up. Good. And that is one tenet or principles of the kumbhaka. So when you're doing your Nadi Shodhana, for example, breathing in and then feel the energy rise from the hips and then contain that energy inside as you hold the kumbhaka. Because as you hold the breath, whatever healing force the breath contains shall be absorbed by the nadis. And then the nadis become like the buffer, like the storage of our energy. So this serves us not just in the physical body, but also in awakening the dormant centers in the body and the brain. So therefore, in Hatha Yoga, a lot of physical techniques, aside from grounding, also lifting and moving away from the pull of gravity. For example, the Mahaveda Mudra, as well as the arm balancing, the Mayurasana, and then the standing postures as well, to develop this physical skill of withstanding the pull of the gravity. Balancing as well as grounding techniques, opening of the spine, and then twisting here and there so we can promote the dynamism and the mobility and the strength of the hips. And forward bend as well, to develop the core. the internal system. Because after that, your next aim is to tackle the pranayama, the energetic observances, so you can develop the internal mechanisms called the bandhas in ascending the energy up. But it doesn't stop there, really. The next stage is channelize that energy where? To the higher centers of the brain. And this is where now the combination of bandhas and mudras play a vital role. All right. Mudras are ways or techniques in channelizing the energy we harness from the body, and the breathing exercises to the brain. And then the mudras of Hatha Yoga, involve mostly the upper part of the physical anatomy. And this include the tongue, Nabu Mudra, the sealing of the surface of the tongue against the hard palate, and breathing, the other techniques we've learned in the past, in sending the sensation there. The Kachari Mudra, this one. And then you send that breath up there. Kachari Mudra is a powerful method because it is not just a mudra, it's also a bandha. It's also a way for us to open those inner anatomical components we hold within. The asanas and even the pranayama are not able to touch and regulate. The eyes, the Shambhavi Mudra, whether internal or external. So everything is going upwards. When it comes to the mudra. Viparita Karani, this one. Where you invert the body. As well as the other techniques of inversions. If you practice, for example, other methods, there's the shoulder stand, there's the head stand, because all of those are higher observances in reversing the downward flow of the energy. All right. So now, appreciating this principle allows us to understand the system. We do the physical techniques not for the glory of it. The physical techniques are like the building blocks. They're the foundation. When the foundation is strong, the other ones follow. Because after strengthening the foundation and building that muscular bone and even internal strength, you're going to be utilizing that in lifting the breath up or the energy up. And after that, the other internal mechanisms shall open up, leading to the activation of the subtle centers in the brain. And then we utilize now the tongue, the eyes, as well as the physical techniques in paving way for the energy to rise. Good. But it doesn't stop there even. All right? So for me, Hatha Yoga, there are like 4 stages. First stage, open and strengthen the body. Second stage, develop the breath for purification and cleansing. Third stage, channelize the energy to the higher centers of the brain so you can awaken dormant centers there. And the last is actually stillness and silence, where we just do nothing in the shavasana or in the sitting, because the energy we send up to the brain shall lead to the emergence of the spada, the vibration, because this is electricity we're going to feel in on the surface of the body, as well as the nada, or the unmade sound, because we're going to utilize these 2 subtle byproducts of the past observances in meditating. This is where the mind rests on during meditation. And this shall eventually lead to what? The absorption. When the brain is absorbed, when the mind is absorbed, the breath follows, and the autonomic system follow, as well as the senses diminish their control over us. And then you come back and redo the process again and again and again. The goal of Hatha Yoga is not just the body, it's not just the breath, it's not just the brain, but also understand who we are as spiritual and divine creation. Good. I'll see you in the next one. Namaste. Bye-bye.